Good morning, all my dear children. How are you all? Fine. Okay. Then, before starting this session, I gave two videos to you about communicative English. To improve your communicative English, I gave two videos. So, I think all of you hear it and write the notes by hearing it, isn't it? Okay. So what are things we learned? I also note some sentences from the what are things we can say when we see somebody, someone else. What are things we can say? We can say, how are you? Instead of that, we can ask, how are you been? How are you been? Isn't it? How will you say? Nothing good? Or it's okay. It's okay. Then how are you doing? We can also ask like that. How are you doing? Isn't it? So all of you follow that, and in some occasions you can call your friends. Then you can practice it. Then only we can improve our English. It is a very good class, I think. And good videos, isn't it? Okay. Then we can say, I would say it is well organized. In my opinion, that like some also we learned, isn't it? We heard. Okay. Then we can come to our portion. We write some notes. What is habitat? All of you learned what is habitat. Then what does adaptation mean? All of you try to say the answers this time. Okay. Then write down 3 types of aquatic plants and give examples. So I hope all of you are learning well, doing properly your notes, everything. Then what we write? We write difference between deciduous plants and evergreen plants. It is a big question, a big answer also, but you cut it and learn. So what is deciduous plants? It is not so long. Okay, some plants which live in places with hot weather and some rainfall shed their leaves during autumn season. Such plants are called deciduous plants, and their examples: peepal tree, banyan tree. All of you know peepal tree. Okay, then arayal, that we can say peepal tree, banyan tree. All of you know peral. Okay, then it's evergreen plants, but plants which live in places with hot weather and heavy rainfall have green leaves throughout the year. They are not shedding their leaves. They are shedding their leaves, but they are not shedding. Occasionally they are shedding their leaves. They are called evergreen plants. Always when we look them, always they will be greenish color, evergreen. Coconut tree, eucalyptus tree example. Then previous day we took very small portion, that is the plants which live in hilly regions. All of you remember what we learned in the previous class? Hilly regions. Many examples we learned. Many adaptations are there. Then the hilly regions, the plants will be the condition. What is the weather condition there? Weather condition is very cold weather condition. That is why for living in that weather condition, they have some adaptations on and all we learned in the previous day. Okay, then we learned about windy regions also. Today we are going to learn about the plants which live in desert regions. Plants which live in desert regions. The plants which live in desert regions, we can call them, what we can call them? Xerophytes. What have you learned in the lower class? That is xerophytes. The plants which live in desert regions are called xerophytes. And examples: opuntia, cactus, prickly pear. This all you know. I think these all plants are coming into your mind. Okay. Also look these pictures also. Next, what are the features? What are the special adaptations, special features of these plants which live in desert areas? You know what is the desert condition? All of you know. There is no water at all. Very less water, very less rainfall only they will get in the desert areas. Then what will they should have some structural changes, structural adaptations, developments in their parts of the plant. So these adaptations, really you can say, clearly you can say, they have some structural adaptations. These plants come into your mind, you can say, you already know, I think, all the plants have many adaptations in their structure. So they are called structural adaptations. In the structure they have many changes. So what are the adaptations? What are the structural adaptations of these plants? All of you remember and say. You can see in the board also. When we look at the root, their roots are well developed. Why their roots are well developed? Can you say, anyone? Why their roots are well developed? Yes, because they do not get the proper amount of water from the soil well. So that they want to get the water wherever it is available. So the availability of water is very less. That is why their roots are well developed. Then only they can go to the more areas in the soil and get the water. You can see one interesting fact in your textbook. Tall sagebrush, a desert plant, has roots that spread over a diameter of about 25 meter around the plant. 25 meter around the plant, the roots will go to get the water. Okay, then that is, it's a adaptation in root. And what about stem? The stem, you know, its picture is in your mind. You can see that their stem is fleshy stem. The fleshy stem, in their fleshy stem, what is the importance? For what they have fleshy stem? Because this fleshy stem, they store lot of water. When they get water through the root, they can store it in their stem. That is why their stem is fleshy, thick. Fleshy and thick to store the water. When they get water, they will store it in their stem. That is why the stem is like that. It is an adaptation. It's a special feature of the plant. Okay. Then leaf. What about their leaf? Do they have leaf? Do you see the leaves on these plants like opuntia, cactus, prickly pear, etc.? No, they do not have leaves. Instead of leaves, what they have? They have thorns on their stem. They have thorns on their stem. What is meant by thorn? All of you know. Okay. Then these thorns, for what they, the leaves are reduced to thorns. The leaves are reduced to thorns to reduce the water loss. Through the leaves, the plants are lose their water. Plants lose their water through the leaves by transpiration. That you will learn in higher class. By transpiration, they lose their water. To reduce that water loss, the leaves are reduced to form the thorns on the stem. Leaves are reduced to thorns. Okay, these are the adaptations of xerophytes. You know, aloe vera. Aloe vera also have waxy coating on the leaf. Why they have waxy coating? Waxy coating means it works like a plastic. So through this they can also reduce the water loss. This aloe vera also have the waxy coating on their leaves you can also see the same adaptations on the aloe vera also. So they also have the thorns. Their stem is fleshy, isn't it? To reduce the water loss, that stem is or the leaf has waxy coating. That is about the plants which live in desert, or what we can call them. What of you say? Yes, xerophytes. Examples: Opuntia, cactus, prickly pear, etc. Next is plants which live in marsh areas, marshy regions. What is meant by marsh? We, in the starting of the lesson, we already discussed about it. The marsh means the muddy or wet land. Marshy regions means muddy and wet regions. In that places, all places were full of muddy or full of water. You can see in your textbook, picture is the plants which live on this like marshy areas. In these marshy areas, you can see lot of water will be there, then the soil will be there, full like a clay, sticky area is that. So in that conditions also plants are living. The plants which live in marshy areas. So they also have, definitely they have some adaptations to live in that habitat. So such plants are mangrove forest. The plants which live in marshy areas, they can live in marshy areas only because they have some adaptations to survive in that area. What are the adaptations of these plants like mangrove forest, mangrove plants which live in marshy areas? What are the adaptations they have? When you look at the picture also, you can see that their roots are, most of the parts of the root are on the upper side of the soil. The inside in the soil full of water. So this most part of the root will be on the upper side of the soil. So for what the soil is on the upper side? When a plant lives in soil, inside the soil a lot of space will be there. In that space the air is existed. Understand? So these plants which live in marshy, muddy, wet area, they cannot absorb air through the roots. The roots can also want to absorb air from the soil. But in this case, this soil is full of water. So they cannot absorb the needed air from the soil. So the roots helps. The roots grow above the soil, absorb air directly from the air. Absorb air directly from the environment or in the open area. That is why these roots are on the outside or the upper side of the soil or the water or the muddy place. Such roots are called breathing root. What is their duty? What is their function? To absorb air from outside. They cannot absorb air from the soil. That is why these roots will be outside, out of the soil. So they can absorb the needed air from outside. Such roots are called breathing roots. They can breathe. They absorb air from outside. That is why they are called a breathing root. Understand? Then example is mangrove forest. You can see the picture. Then you can understand. Clear? So we learned today about the plants in desert and the plants which live in marsh. In the desert areas, the examples of Opuntia, cactus, prickly pear, etc. They have many adaptations to live in the desert. Their root has some adaptations, their leaves have adaptations, and their stem also have adaptations. These plants are called xerophytes. Another name is xerophyte. Then the plants which live in marsh, they also have some adaptations, that is their breathing root. They cannot absorb water from the muddy soil, that is why the roots will be outside. Such roots are called a breathing root. Example, mangrove forest. So that's all. In this lesson, we have to choose the correct answers. So all of you try to do. Next class, we can discuss it. Okay, bye.